back for another exciting episode of Winnebago Wednesday, sponsored by Parlour Games Photo, who specializes in studio booths or photo booths, whatever your phrasing is for them. I do want to let you know real quick that they are booking for graduation parties and the wedding season, so make sure you check them out and get in touch with them, so that way you can have all kinds of fun for whatever your event may be. This week we are bringing back Taylor Wilcox, the amazing, talented Taylor Wilcox, who actually has really cool hair, so you're going to like that. Taylor was a guest earlier this season playing acoustic guitar and singing. He is quite the songwriter. Today it's going to be a little bit different. Today we're going to enjoy his songwriting on the electric guitar. Very, very dramatic, I guess. Very mellow instrumentation that you can just sit and listen to for hours. So look forward to having that, and I think that's it. Without further ado, Taylor Wilcox. Today's episode is brought to you not by the letter Q, but by Parlour Games Photo. Parlour Games Photo is an amazing photo booth company that services the Lower Mainland, Fraser Valley, and the Okanagan, and they do a great job. They bring out their custom photo booth that they built. They set up props that are designed for your event, and they do the prints right on the spot there. So your guests have a great time, everyone's having fun, and the great thing about it is the prices are amazing and reasonable and wonderful. Their staff is wonderful. Everything about them is great. So please check out Parlour Games Photo for your next birthday party, graduation, funeral, zucchini casserole, whatever this momentous event is that you want to invite people over for, give them a call. So welcome back to another wonderful episode of Winnebago Wednesday. And speaking of welcoming back, Taylor, welcome back.
Thank you for having me back, Mr. Ryan.
Of course. And this here is Taylor Wilcox, who you would recognize from an earlier episode of Winnebago Wednesday, or if you've been anywhere on Instagram and YouTube, you've probably seen him as well. You post probably more than a 15-year-old girl, but you put some quality stuff out there, which is really great.
I just try and be prolific. And just kind of power through quantity, because I'm never going to stop writing. Like I enjoy the writing process, and a lot of it sounds like very quick and sort of off the cuff, but that's what I like about it, because you take all that raw material and then start the composing process.
Yeah, definitely.
And it's like it doesn't matter if it sort of goes nowhere, because you can structure it up later. So anyway.
So you've been writing quite a bit. I mean, even the first show that you were on, the first episode you were on, you were writing on a regular basis and posting on a regular basis. And it seems since then you've upped the level a little bit, and I'm seeing more and more come across from you, which is great. And it's original stuff. It's stuff that you're writing all the time, and you'll go back and forth between acoustic and electric. But tonight, like what we heard earlier, and you'll hear a couple more songs from it. You're doing a lot of a different style than we had you on last episode. A lot more of the electrics. So you had mentioned, and I know this is your interview, and I'm the one that's doing all the talking so far. I apologize, but I just don't shut up. But you were talking a little bit earlier off camera about how I guess relaxing and just kind of a chill vibe that is, and that's what I get out of it. So as you're writing, tell me what that feels like. What are you feeling inside of you that's making this music come out?
So if you have something like where there's a delay, literally I turned it on one day and it was just like, I just plucked a note and I was like, oh, that sounds kind of cool. And literally it's just following what you find to be fascinating, and that's it. So I find a beginning of something that I like, or maybe a rough idea of what I want to do, but let's say all of this stuff there, usually it comes from like noodling around and then you stumble across something. Like that's how I work. Like I just sit there and pluck around, find something, and then it's like there's something to start building something off of. Because I think that with creativity, it's very much like connect the dots. Yeah. Like it's not like you're summoning in something from another dimension or something like that. Like people, they mystify it a lot.
Sure.
I think it's just finding something and building off of it. And then, in doing that, you can sit there and sort of, get in tune with whatever you might think helps you create. Yeah. You know what I mean? With some people that's caffeine, with some people it's meditation. Sure. But no, I just try and find like cool switches between chords. Okay. And having a good sense of pacing and composing, and most of that stuff honestly was just like very off the cuff. Like I just wrote it that day, like one day I wrote the piece, and a lot of it's just raw material. They're not even songs. Okay. They're just parts. Yeah. You know what I mean? That still have yet to be chopped up into anything, substantial. So, but I enjoy just sitting there playing them. You know what I mean? But yeah, no, the big thing is just finding something that I'm enjoying listening to and feeling, and I think maybe in some way the creative process shows you maybe what's inside of you a little bit, and you might not know that it's there. So what I notice is that people say a lot lately, especially, that it's like painting. It kind of creates landscapes. Okay. Or it kind of gives them like a calm, uplifting feel. And it's like I'm totally not intending to do that at all. It's just that's sort of what it is. And to be fair, that's specifically like one guitar sound too. You know what I mean? Good luck doing that on an acoustic, but I can play both, so it doesn't really matter to me. You know what I mean?
So with as much as you're writing, how do you even keep it straight? I don't. That's the part that as I watch your videos on Instagram, and when you put them on YouTube, still with the decaf freaks, which is hilarious. But actually, I got to tell you, I was in Abbotsford last week, and I was at a Starbucks there, and I saw Priest ordering coffee. Or he just ordered his coffee when I walked in, and I was thinking, is he one of the decaf priests?
Found him. Yeah. They're real.
Oh yeah,
they're real. They're real guys. Yeah, no. So,
but with all of these things that I've seen, and there's quite a bit of content, and I don't see you repeating yourself at all. So how in the world do you keep it straight in your head? I don't
straight as far as like the flow of stuff coming, or just everything organized.
Okay, so I've in the last 10 years, I've written maybe 15, 20 songs.
Sure.
If I don't have the chords and music in front of me, I mess up those songs that I've written that I know inside and out.
Okay.
So you write, and probably while we've been talking, you've written 4 songs in your head. So it seems to be that frequency with you. So how do you keep it all straight?
Oh man. I don't know. I've always had. I think I'm wired for like instrumental stuff.
Okay.
Like, in particular, like good luck getting me to remember a lyric. It's just it's so hard for me to remember words.
Sure.
But I can remember like an 11-minute instrumental. Not even a problem. You know what I mean? I don't know why. I think it's because I started off as a drummer.
Okay.
So like I pay attention to the way that a song flows more than the lyrics. Not that lyrics don't matter to me, it's just like what I naturally sort of go to first is like, okay, how does it feel? So I think that a bit of it is just having practiced rhythm so much. It's just like that's what I sort of latch onto is like being musically familiar. So I don't really have to think about it. It's just kind of remembering the changes and the positions. And I have a really good memory for that. I don't know why, because I can't remember words. You know what I mean? So it's this weird thing.
Interesting.
Yeah. So.
No, my last album, not the most recent one, but the one before that, it was a piano album, just all instrumental. And there were maybe 2 songs on there that I had worked on before, but the rest of it was just an experiment. It was just sitting down, hitting record, and playing and seeing what happened. Now, is that what happens with a lot of the stuff that you put out there? Or
yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I think that's how you do it. Just do it. Just do it. That's it.
Excellent.
That's it. And it's amazing because you have to figure out how to just do it. Don't figure out like so much how to like make music. You know, you got to know how to use your tools. But at the end of the day, if you don't know how to use your tools, or if you know how to use your tools and then you don't know how to just sit down and write, you're not going to have anything.
Sure.
You know what I mean? It doesn't matter how many chords you can learn. It doesn't matter what scales you know. I don't care about any of that. I've never cared about that. It's like, what are you making? And if you aren't making anything, well, it's like, then why are you sitting here talking to me about how many scales you know, or your gear, or blah blah blah. I don't know. Anyway, there's all my anger coming up. But.
So, with the sheer amount of volume that you're putting out, how do you decide like, hey, this one's a good one, I'm going to keep it. This one maybe not so much, and go and decide to play it again or remember it. Like when I see you play, there are songs that you've written, but you're obviously not playing everything that you've written because there's not that many hours in a day.
Oh no.
So what's your process on deciding, hey, that one's a keeper? Because the things that I think that I write are good, not everyone agrees. So.
Well, you're always going to get that. So you have to play for what interests you, and that's it.
Sure. Because
if you're playing for other people at all, it's like, well, have fun. And I think the biggest thing there is like avoiding burnout and just getting good at sitting down and just and doing that, and then not thinking about it too much, and then over time things sort of rise to the top as far as like what you remember, and maybe they might not even be the best, quote unquote, but the fact that you're playing them, that's what matters.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Definitely.
So it's like, it doesn't matter, because what would you rather have? Would you rather not be doing music, or would you rather have some things float to the surface that, for one reason or another, they're sticking around up there?
Right.
So maybe it's resonating somewhere in there, and I don't know. So I don't overthink it too much.
Sure.
Just whatever sticks around.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's great. So with that, you have a SoundCloud album that you sent me, which is great, which is a lot of what we're listening to tonight. But there is a huge market. I had told you before of a band that somebody introduced me to, which had a very similar sound to what you have, and he was listening to this, so he liked it. He told me about it. I liked it. So more than likely, there's more than the 2 of us in the entire world. So there's a decent market for this particular type of sound. Did you have any plans to do anything do anything more with this? Put another album out? Go on world tour through Asia? And
I don't know. One thing I've noticed over the years is once you mention to people that you do music, immediately they start talking about like being a star or something like that. I've always done music my entire life. I'm going to do music my entire life. What comes from it comes from it.
Sure.
I don't really overthink it beyond that because I think that a lot of the stuff that people imagine is just pure fantasy. You know what I mean? Like, you meet a lot of really high maintenance, high ego musicians, actors, whatever, where they're just completely blinded by what they think, you know, being a musician or being an actor should look like, or what should come from that. And one thing that's come from music, for example, for me is this: I'm here because of music. That's good enough for me. Seeing that small scale stuff like that, because it'd be do that for 10 years. I'm only 21. You know what I mean? And even if that means better community in my life, that has effects that are far-reaching into every single area of my life. I don't care about doing a world tour. I care about that.
Sure.
You know what I mean? So.
Now you mentioned community, and last time you were on the show, you talked quite a bit about community as well, and that's something that obviously stands out to you. And you've mentioned it to me in our personal conversations a few times, and that's one of the great things about music in general. And I would say a lot of what you're playing tonight is just the calming effect, that bit of peace. Like one of the problems that I have when I play, because a lot of the songs I play are very lyric heavy.
Okay.
And there's a whole lot of dry comedy in there that the only way that you're going to catch that is if you're listening to the lyrics.
Yeah.
And I enjoy sharing that. But when I play instrumental, if I've got a gig just playing piano in the background or doing background music or something like that, I enjoy that, and I don't expect people to be sitting and watching. But what that does is that provides an ambience and a background, and that makes conversation between Joe and Fred over here sitting at the table who just hear that. It makes that conversation lighter and
totally.
and makes it more open. So something to be said about you playing the music that you're playing and getting that in front of more people is the ability to help whatever community it is you're playing with. So it's a weird circle. So I mean, don't ever turn your back on playing to the Hollywood Bowl or anything like that.
Yeah.
But I understand what you're saying.
Yeah. I think music is a path, and you got to pick paths to get on. And if you're doing it right, they have effects that in your life that are multi-leveled, and they help you in so many different ways. And it's just I'm never gonna. I keep it process based.
Okay.
You know what I mean, where it's about the process.
Yeah.
It's about doing the music, and in a very competitive way.
Okay.
It's the one thing I'm competitive about. I think so. Yeah.
For me, playing music is more about finding my peace. The truth of it is, I am an entertainer by nature. I love being on stage.
Yeah.
I absolutely love it in any aspect. But there are a lot of times where I play music just for me. I'll stay down here in the studio and just play late, or if I'm getting really moody or something, Amy will send me down to play piano and get rid of that mood, which is part of it. But I was having a bad day once, and I wasn't feeling well, so I came down here and picked up my guitar, and I just laid on the couch and started picking it, and I cuddled with my guitar and took a nap, and it's a release for me in what you're talking about, and from what we talked about before and how much you're putting out, I know that you're able to get that release all day and all the time. And just the type of music that you're playing, how calming I guess it is, and I would say almost spiritual to a level.
Yep. Yeah.
It's got to be something that really affects you. Do you feel the difference on a day that you don't get to play for whatever reason?
Oh yeah. Like I'm. It's it's like being yanked away from a baby. But I mean that like literally. Like I don't know what else to do with myself.
Sure.
You know, so like even if and it's not like it's fun all the time.
Right.
Like there's times where like it's so boring and it's the last thing I want to do. It makes me miserable that I don't want to pick up the guitar. It's like because my one thing that I do is not fun. You know what I mean? So it's like the center of my life sort of collapses in this weird way. But what I've sort of done lately is like, you know, figure out ways to just keep it calm. You know, like it doesn't have to be exciting right now or whatever. But no. I can play for like hours and hours and hours and be, you know, semi-entertained. You know, it really depends on what I'm doing. And a lot of times I pick it up and noodle. You know, I set it down and pick it up and noodle. I'm in my room. I'm doing something. I'm out doing this or that. I have a lot of fun messing around.
Yeah.
Just it's endless because it's endless. It doesn't end. It's awesome. So it's
Excellent.
like a productive video game.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent. Well, with that, we're going to get back to your music and hear a little bit more. So thank you very much. Stick around, and right after this message from the sponsor, we will get some more from this amazing Taylor Wilcox. Awesome. Thanks, Taylor.
Thank you.
for watching Winnebago Wednesday. Our goal, as we've been doing, is to introduce new talent to the greater world by letting you hear some of their amazing music and getting to know a little bit about the artists behind the music. We do this out of passion because I've been there. I've been that artist trying to get my name out there, and we absolutely love the music that we bring in and the artists that we bring in. So what we would like to ask for is if you are interested in sponsoring an episode of Winnebago Wednesday. We would love to have you bring one of these artists out and be responsible for that, and we'll definitely thank you and put your name out there, and you can be associated with the new talent such as what you've seen today being put out to the greater world. So we would love your sponsorship, we would love your help, and these artists would love to have you be a part of kickstarting their career. Thank you very much. thank you for watching Winnebago Wednesday. This has been a great show with Taylor Wilcox. So make sure you please tune in to him, to his various songs on Instagram and his Decaf Priest YouTube.
And make sure you come in next week or I'll find you, because we got Ryan Barnes and it's going to be great.
I love him. I love him.
He's a good guy.
Yeah, it's going to be great. So thank you very much. Have a great week. Stay here.
Oh.
Stay here. So you can sit down. That's
Sure, yeah.
Excellent.
Cool.
Cool.
Sweet.